One of the critical elements in terms of this bill was the standard deduction. And back in 2017, the standard deduction was increased significantly. And the idea was it was sort of a way to get simplification. Standard deduction is the process where um, you have one deduction as opposed to going through and trying to itemize everything you've done all year. And typically you need a lot of income to make itemizing worth it. And what you saw was, in terms of the amount of people who used this standard deduction, increased from 70% to 90% as a result of this bill. And what you're looking at, though, and this is where you see some critical elements. If you take a look in terms of the current provisions, um, a married couple filing jointly gets a $30,000 deduction. So think of it this way. If you're making $60,000, then you only have $30,000 of taxable income. If you're making $80,000, you have $50,000 worth of taxable income. If the bill had not passed, what would have happened to that standard deduction and the big beautiful bill? That would have gone back to where it had been at $16,600. What does that mean? That means that those people who are married filing jointly would have had another $13,400 that they would have had to pay taxes on. Okay, to finish it off, if you were single, it was 15,000. That deduction would have gone down to 8,300, which means you would have been paying $6,700 in terms of additional income that you're going to have to pay taxes on, and that's just a huge deal. I mean, if you're making again $80,000, and rather than paying $50,000 worth of income, you're paying taxes on $63,400 worth of income. That's going to significantly increase your tax bill. The other thing that was interesting, and you and I saw this in terms of some research we did, when people actually saw that, they had another concern that emerged, which was a big deal. And that was, it wasn't simply just paying $13,400 more in terms of taxable income. It was, could that bump them up a tax bracket as well? So this is an important component in terms of getting the electorate to sort of see what the benefits are. And the key thing here was that there are a lot of people out there who, as we saw in the previous slide, who did not say that they saw a tax increase being prevented.
Well, with the IRS saying that about 90% of taxpayers use the standard deduction rather than itemize, the impact on the standard deduction from this tax bill seems to be the way that Republicans could address the concerns of the broadest swath of people.